Hello everyone, welcome to D&D News. How's it going? We are in a, actually it was the same room we were in yesterday, but it's last week, but it's a little bit different setup, so let us know if anything is different with the noise or anything. I have to look down there for chat, so I apologize if I'm looking down there a lot. That's where you guys are. Hey, what's up, Dilligan, Gaffern, and everybody, Sick Brightly, Tana's Vault 111. There's 3 ones there. That means that adds up to 3, I think. How's it going? It is Tuesday. I'm excited. We just had the Dungeons and Doodles segment on Dragon Plus with Bart Carroll and 3 of my favorite artists who work here in the building, doodling away. I missed Emmy Tanji in there, as well as Stan Brown, but Mr. Sean Wood did an amazing job, as well as Richard Witters and Adam Lee, but I have to give it up to Richard Witters for doing this amazing sketch. I immediately put it on as my Twitter avatar. I think that is exactly what I would look like if I were a dragon, and it is going to be, I don't know, canon going forward. I've been making a few jokes on Twitter that the CR for the Tito dragon is a 1, and I believe my breath weapon is just me going, well, I'm trying to figure out what the next thing is to say on D&D News. So not very terrifying, more annoying than anything else.
Important question, Greg.
Yes.
From chat.
Yes.
What does he hoard?
Oh, news, of course, or hot, tasty D&D tidbits to give to you. I'll be hoarding some other things later on, but that's the first thing that came to mind right now. So of course, again, thank you to Richard for doing that. That was awesome. We also had Mike Mearls do his super happy fun hour at 1 p.m. today, which was amazing, and we can't wait to see more of that. He did it in this very room, in this very seat, in front of this very camera. So that's kind of cool, and we can't wait for him to do much more of that. He wants to do the designing of things, as he said, but then I also think he wants to get into minis painting. This is my minis painting sign, and when you do this, it's not okay or a 3 in Germany or whatever it is. It is, yeah, something that he can do, I think, painting of miniatures. I don't know, something I've always wanted someone to do here on the D&D channel, and I think Mike Mearls might be up to the challenge. So if you want to get him to do that, please go ahead and talk to him on Twitter at Mike Mearls for that. Speaking of Mike, he's actually going to be joining Nathan for his fireside chat. That's right, Nathan Stewart this Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific time will be talking to Mike Mearls for his fireside chat. They have a lot of fun stuff planned. There's a crazy little image that is being displayed, I think, for you guys right now that Nathan whipped up. I don't know if you guys know this, but Nathan is pretty much a Photoshop wizard of the coast. He's very good at it, and he can throw stuff up there, and it is amazing. Not quite on the same level as our graphic designers per se, but he does a fantastic job, and I love that he loves that Mike Mearls image. He likes to think that it looks like Mike is spinning like he's a DJ. So I think, in fact, he has actually photoshopped on headphones and a DJ turntable on that very image. So it's very cool, and I can't wait to see what hijinks they get up to Friday at 11 a.m. Nathan gave a lot of fun swag away last week, and he's only going to give away even more stuff this week. So tune in to that if you can. Kate Welch is going to be coming and joining the team. If you guys don't know, she is Rosie B. Stinger on the Acquisitions Incorporated I was going to say B team. That's not it. They're not the B team. They are the C team. It is crazy. So yeah, I can't wait for the D and the E and the F team to also show up. We're working on it. Who knows? That could be a thing. But she's on the C team, and she's joining us as a D&D designer. She's got tons of credits as a video game designer and storyteller, so I'm very excited for what she can bring to the table when she gets here. She's starting on Monday. Ordinarily, we would love to inundate her with her on this stream, all the things that we go on here. But with her doing Acquisitions Incorporated C Team, we're going to give her some time. And, you know, obviously she has to learn all the Dungeons & Dragons stuff. We've got lots of secrets to tell her, and that she has to learn it all up. She has to know all the secrets pretty fast. So we're not going to get her on quite right away. I think we want to give her some time to ease into it because it can be a transition if it were. I mean, I remember thinking about myself when I came to here. It took me about 6 months with my jaw on the floor, just looking around at all the cool stuff that's here in the Wizards office. So I think since she's been in the business a little bit in the video game business, she's maybe it's about a month or so with her jaw on the floor. But after that, we will be getting her on Dragon Talk and getting to know more about Kate, and I can't wait. Very excited for that. Another fun thing that happened last week, if you guys are following Oscar nominations, there was a nomination for Best Original Screenplay for one of our very own from Force Grey, Emily V. Gordon. She was nominated for The Big Sick, the movie that she wrote with her husband, Kumail Nanjiani. And I'm very excited about it. I have not actually yet seen this movie. I wanted to see it in the theaters, and then they got out of theaters, and then I was going to see it with my wife, and then she still watched it without me. Haven't been able to see it, but I've heard nothing but really, really good things about it, and I'm going to definitely watch it before the Oscars. But we want to give a big shout out to Emily Gordon. She played Skirt of Snakes on the Force Grey Lost episode at the Egyptian Theater in LA more than a year ago now. So we have a YouTube link in there where I kind of linked right directly to where she is introduced by Matt Mercer, the Dungeon Master for Force Grey. She joins that team kind of immediately and picks up and is really funny. So if you want to get a little shot of a Oscar nominee playing Dungeons and Dragons, follow that link and you'll have some fun. And we can't wait. I'll be watching with bated breath on the day of the Oscars. When is the Oscars? It's in like February, late February usually. So in a couple of weeks we'll be able to find out if she actually wins. And I think Nathan actually asked me today. She's like, "Do you think she's got a chance?" And I think yeah. I mean, with a not like I feel like Best Original Screenplay is that one where it's a off the beaten path movie usually for originals. So yeah, who knows? It could happen. And she's definitely got a 1 in 5 chance. But I might even go higher. Next, we had some friends of ours at thedicetower.com do a really cool Betrayal of Baldur's Gate playthrough, which is always fun to see. Shelly Mazanoble, my co-host on the Dragon Talk, has been really talking up what Betrayal at Baldur's Gate is all about for the last couple of months. I've heard nothing but fun things about that. I was involved in the playtesting and got to do it, and it's cool to see that Dice Tower was able to go through and play it on their site. They noted that Betrayal at the House of the Hill is one of their favorites already, and then the playthrough of it with it being D&D themed had a crazy, insane things occur. And with those quotes, I mean, I can't argue with them. They're pretty much all true. Crazy, insane things do happen when you play Betrayal at Baldur's Gate, and it's it's random what is going to happen. You never know what omen is going to trigger. You never know what building in Baldur's Gate you're going to stumble into. What omen you're going to find that's going to come in handy to maybe foil whatever is happening. But it's super fun, and if you guys haven't checked it out in your local game store, please do so. Betrayal at Baldur's Gate is fun. And just another Betrayal line item I want to make sure you guys are aware of. Rob Daviau, the creator of Risk Legacy as well as Pandemic Legacy and Seafall, creating that legacy game. He worked on Betrayal at House on the Hill back when he was at Hasbro in the early aughts. I made a development pass on it, I believe. He's working on Betrayal Legacy, a game that's coming next year. Well, it's this year now, actually. It's fall 2018. Can't wait for that. It's going to be pretty cool. He's tweeting all the time about random stuff that's happening in his development, and I haven't actually been able to play a playtest of that yet, but next time he comes to the office, I'm going to basically strap him down and make sure that he lets me play the game. But I'm excited about that. Critical Role has started up their new season. It is a tour de force. I haven't actually watched it. I'm a terrible critter in that it's hard for me to jump in and do it. But I get Trevor. That's what Trevor Kidd does. He gives me all the ins, the outs of what's happening. And Geek and Sundry did a pretty good rundown of all the things that are happening in their party. They've got a really interesting party, I do have to say, and I liked that Geek and Sundry went through and linked to all the different things, such as the Hexblade. I actually have it up here on purpose so that I could reference it. Yeah, so there's the Aasimar Yasha, an Aasimar barbarian. I love that Ashley is playing that. She's taller than your average lass, as Ashley says. Very standoffish, totally different from Ashley's other characters, even the Force Grey character that she's played. The Goblin is a monstrous adventurer, and Sam Riegel jumped into that for Not the Brave. Of course, the Blood Hunter is now a couple of things on the Blood Hunter. It was the class that was designed by Matt Mercer. And that was on the DM's Guild for a very long time. It is now available in D&D Beyond, which is pretty cool. You can try it out. It's not an official Dungeons & Dragons class, but it is available for people to play with on the unofficial class list. So if you are interested in trying out a Blood Hunter, do so. It's good stuff. It's a lot of fun. Then, of course, Travis Willingham is playing Fjord, and he is a Hexblade Warlock, which is one of Mike Mearls' very favorite subclasses. He really enjoyed talking about that with Todd Kenrick on the D&D Beyond YouTube channel. That might have been before it was D&D Beyond, but maybe right when it was turned into D&D Beyond. So yeah, go check that out. Lots of fun stuff. I need to jump into this new thing. This was my whole plan. When they're like, oh, they're starting a new campaign, I can get right into the story. Guess what? I have not done it yet. So I need to. I know they're only, what, 2 episodes in? 3 episodes? 3. He did it this way. Mr. Trevor Kids. He's been following my lead. So he's not an inglorious bastard. Yeah. So that is pretty awesome. I can't wait to see where they take the characters. I like all the different, as I said, the different ways the characters are going. Totally different from their Vox Machina characters. And yeah, I have to start watching more, for sure. Forsworn Burrito, how's it going? Thank you for subscribing. That is pretty much one of my favorite handles I've ever heard of, because I will now forswear you as a burrito owner or something like that. I don't know. Explain what that means in the chat, because now I want to know, right? It's good stuff. All right, what else is going on in the Dungeons & Dragons world? I've got so many. I put it all in a thing so I could talk to you guys about it. Oh, right. So here's a really interesting thing that I just found out about, and I just watched the trailer. It's a movie that's coming out in March. It's called I Killed Giants. Have you guys heard about this? I know very little about it. I just watched the trailer, and I thought this would be a perfect thing to talk to you about, because it's about a 5th grader, young girl, 10 years old. I assume most 5th graders are 10 years old, and it's adapted from a visual novel, a graphic novel. That's what they call it, Greg. But the movie looks really awesome, and she's a Dungeons & Dragons aficionado, I might say. Her sister or her friend in the movie says, I'll play that dungeon game with you, and I think they're referring to the Dungeons & Dragons, so that's why I bring it up. But she's caught up in this fantasy world. She's dealing with loss, and I'm not really sure. Can't get really what happened to her in the movie, in the trailer, but I can't wait to see when the movie comes out. And then she has this belief that there are giants that are invading her town, and the special effects look really good. And I just love that. I don't know. She just reminds me of my girl a little bit, the 10-year-old. So I can't wait to see where it goes, and I'm interested to find out more. I mean, I was a little bit skeptical because it was going down that realm of what you're seeing on the frame. Is it real or is it in her head? And I like that it blurred that line between reality and fantasy. But then, back in the 80s, that was always a big bone of contention for a lot of people, blurring that line. So I'd love to hear what you guys think about all that. I think it's really interesting, and I can't wait to see more about it. So go ahead and watch that trailer if you haven't already. It looks really awesome. Did we show the image already?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
People are asking, where is the half-dragon Tito?
Where is the half-dragon Tito? You haven't seen it yet?
Some people missed it.
Oh, okay. Yeah, because people are asking, and I always give people what they ask for. Now, is it a half-dragon? That's the thing I don't know. That's a whole other bag of worms. That's the phrase, right? Bag of worms? Yes, it is. We'll just go with that. Another fun thing, though, that is interesting, I want to make sure you guys, I just saw this today. It was, not a thing we talk about often here on the D&D news, but it's from physics.org, and it is an article about dice through the ages, essentially. This group of archaeologists went through and found all the dice. I don't know if you guys have seen all those stories of 20-sided die found in Rome or found in Egyptian tombs, tracing back, and everybody makes a joke, they were playing D&D back in the day. But there are tons of these artifacts that are found. They're rare. This article points out they're not like a very common artifact that people find in dig sites from thousands of years ago, but they do exist, and it's interesting to see how their manufacture was traced over the years. So the article that we're linking in here right now has a little bit of information about like how dice manufacturing changes. They mostly focus on the cube, 6-sided dice, and how it used to be 1 and a 2 were next to each other, and then the 3 and the 4 were next to each other, and then the 5 and the 6, and that would sometimes, if you were a clever player, you were able to roll the dice and maybe get a 6 more often because you were rolling in that way, and that was before there was the balance, and with 1 being on one side and the 6 being on the opposite side, and that kind of thing. And traces through all of that, and also, interesting enough, it changed the way people thought about numbers and probability. So when the Renaissance was happening, when people were Enlightenment, I guess is the more proper word, people thinking about mathematics a little bit more than they would have in the Dark Ages. They started to realize that, because something happens, this is a random number generator, they were actually able to test and find out if it actually was a true random number. So I found that was really fascinating. And so, if you're interested in that, I know a lot of D&D players are. They like the science dice because those are the most accurate dice out there. People don't like it when you use, or at least in this building, when you use a magic spin down dice because it's not properly distributed on the side. And I'm always like, it doesn't matter. Of course, that means I can always get a 20 when I need to. Just kidding, doesn't really happen. You always think you're like, I got this, down, but no, it never actually really happens. But it is fascinating that, the way that people thought about number and probabilities changed over time, and that influenced how dice were made, and all that stuff. So super fun, interesting, check it out, and maybe follow up for more on the actual, I just read the article, but the actual study is going to be published somewhere. So if you find out more about that, tweet at me and let me know if you have any kind of fun stuff going on there. Why is the screen shaking? Is the screen shaking? Is it me?
Might be me.
Maybe I'm just shaking. Who knows? I see no shake. That's just us dancing. That's just, or was it, the fat in my cheeks? Maybe that's what it was. That happens a lot. I'm just saying, it's part of life. I'm just filling time while my news thing gets loaded back up here, but apparently it's disappeared. Let me see. I'm gonna refresh. How are you folks doing? Give me a sec. Camera guy needs a drink. Yes, that's exactly true. Honestly, there is no camera guy here. This is a tripod, and it has been drinking quite a lot, if you know what I mean. Come on. It just won't display. That's crazy. Look, it's blank. So why will in fact be... Oh, see, this is why Trevor's awesome, because he can put it up right there for you. Twitch subscriptions are live now. Thank you to everybody who has subscribed already in the past. You are fantastic. I see a few of you coming in and subscribing now. You're the best. I am in anticipation for Dice Camera Action, which is happening in just about 12 minutes. Last episode was pretty crazy. I think we have a screenshot of what was happening. Trevor was trying to find a screenshot with everybody with their hands in their face, and yes, there it is. Everybody, I think, is just pretty upset about what was happening in the last episode of Dice Camera Action. I can't wait to see what Chris is able to do with that. All the characters are in their own little pocket dimension of hell, the worst thing, and I think now they're all really regretting having that session with Mark Holmes as the Tortle and telling their deepest, darkest fears. They thought it was just here's a fun little side trek. Do some interview and give some personal information and put some backstory in there. And I'm pretty sure Chris Perkins was at home watching that and being like, yes. It's a mark of a really good dungeon master for him to take everything that he's able to do and make it happen. So that's awesome. I can't wait to see it. You don't have to wait too long. It's just 10 minutes before that's happening. Here's a quick thing. We also have a few guests coming. Rachel Seeley is returning as our Veggie Pygmy army is no longer, but she is still here with us. As well, Ross O'Donovan is returning. Is that right?
Yeah,
Yes, he is. Many of you might have thought that his character, Wumba, is no longer. Well, he is longer. I don't know if that makes any sense, but he will be returning. So I don't know if that's going to be a ghost or if it's going to be a part of what's happening in the dimensions that are going on. I don't know, but it's pretty exciting, and I can't wait to see all that. Here's the thing I was going to tell you, though, that you might not know from all the tweets and the Twitters and things, is that Mr. Chris Perkins is not feeling very well today, but he is such a trooper. He didn't come into work. He is going to be doing his episode from home. He went and got a headset and got everything he needed ready to go, but there might be a few hiccups happening as we start to get the AV going for that. Which shouldn't be any problem. Again, we did that basically a complete remote episode when Mark Holmes did that. So we have the technology. It exists. It is there. But you never know. Things might happen. So just give you a heads up there. And if Chris is coughing or crying, it's probably just because he's sick, not because of what's happening on screen. You never know. All right, so what else is going on in the world? Right, Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms. I only have like 5 minutes, so I'm going to try and rush through some fun stuff just to make sure you guys are aware of what's going on. Idle Champions of the Forgotten Realms is in the middle of a midwinter event. It's live right now. It is going through Monday, February 5th. Idle Champions is the game that you can play whenever and however long you want. You can set up your party, send them off on adventures, they kill all the monsters, they collect the loot, all in real time. So you can walk away from your computer or wherever you have set up and come back and check in, collect all the loot, collect all the monsters, level up your guys, optimize your party a little bit more, maybe unlock some stuff, maybe get some other things. Excuse me, and then you can send them all off on again. So that's pretty cool. And there is a character right now that you can get that it was popularized in Mr. R.A. Salvatore's novels. He's one of the companions. His name is Regis. He's a halfling, and you can unlock him right about now. So go through and do what's going on right there. It's called the Dead Winter event, right? Dead Winter event, and you should check it out. There's also swaps with Celeste. Oh, I didn't know that. There's also a really cool thing that you should know about Idle Champions, which is Twitch Plays Idle Champions. It's a channel that is on Twitch right now. It's playing constantly. I believe that you can do chat commands and play with the community similar to Twitch plays Pokemon and stuff like that. So I think that's super fascinating. Go check it out if you're interested in finding out more about the game. I'm sure the chat in there would be helpful for you to learn more. Cool. Neverwinter Lost City of Omu is coming to PC on February 27th. It is basically the final arc of the Tomb of Annihilation story that has been going on in Neverwinter since, gosh, what they actually released that first before the Tomb of Annihilation story was out in September. So I think that was actually out in, I want to say, late July. So they've been in Tomb of Annihilation for a long time. It's super fascinating, and they're going to finish it up with The Lost City of Omu on PC on February 27th, and it'll be on PS4 and Xbox One very soon after that. Beamdog has got some exciting news. They are working on Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. No date for that quite yet, but all of your old saves and mods will work in the Enhanced Edition. They're just improving it, making it work for more modern operating systems and computers. And it will be pretty cool. So if you're interested in finding out more, join that community. You can go to the Beamdog website or pre-order it through Beamdog or on Steam, and that helps them kind of get the word out about what's happening with Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition. I've heard from a little bird that they may be having a release and or launch date soon. So I will let you know on this here very show about that when that drops. So pay attention. Dragon Plus is out now. We do the Dragon Plus show on Tuesdays at 2 p.m. Pacific time with Mr. Bart Carroll. And I don't know if you guys know this, but there's an actual app that you can download called Dragon Plus. It is on iOS, it's on Android, and it's available on the web at dragonmag.com. Excuse me, I got a little phlegmy back there. I got some ooze in the back of my throat. And there's tons of fun stuff on there. It comes out every 2 months. All the content on there are usually themed by what's going on with our major storylines. The cover art is all really fascinating. And I keep saying the word fascinating. It's a thing. Maybe we should get someone to do a Vulcan version of me pretty soon. to match that. Yes, Dragon Plus is awesome. You get tons of free content, as well as maps. There's maps of the month that are coming out right now with the Tomb of the Nine Gods from Tomb of Annihilation. So you can go check that out. We like to use all the maps that are created for our adventures in there. So thanks for that. January is phlegm time. That's right, Geppetto 3. My girls have been basically coughing into my face for about 2.5 weeks, so I was destined to get something. I had a little sore throat basically at the end of last week into the weekend, which is always great. You're like, great, it's the weekend. I'm sick. I get to do nothing but stare at the rain that's making me feel sicker. So that's what it's like here in Seattle, but it's actually sunny today. This is like the first day in what feels like 3 weeks that it was actually sunny here in Seattle. We're in the rainy season. When I first got here in March, I remember being like, oh, all the things are about Seattle being rainy and it's not that bad. And it would end up being like a really dry summer that first year I was here in 2015. And then around this time is when the rainy season set in, and it was about 4 months of nonstop moisture, which I actually quite enjoy. A lot of people don't dig the rainy days, but I do, because what else do? You get to go stay inside, play games around your table or in front of a screen, and that's some of the fun stuff I like to do. All right, I think I am done, you guys. We got lots of Dice Camera action coming to you tonight. Can you scroll up on this one just so I can see what's coming up with the next week, or scroll down rather? Yeah, there you go. Go up a little bit so I can see some of them. We got No Misclicks tomorrow at 4 p.m. Just make sure you guys know they actually did theirs. They're off, and they're going to come back for their finale next Wednesday at 4 p.m. Pacific time on Wednesday. Maze Arcana's Fury's Fate is all wrapped up, but they are doing it on Wednesday at 6 p.m. You can see the entire cast, and as well as Dungeon Master Rudy Rutenberg are doing a Q&A. So get your questions into them. I think they're using the Ask Ruty, R-U-T-Y hashtag for those on Twitter. And of course, you can always ask them in chat about their characters or how the season went and how the story progressed. So get those in there. Those are always fun sessions. On Thursday, we've got 1 p.m. Codename Entertainment does their Idol Champion stream. So if you're interested about what I was saying earlier about Regis, tune in and they'll tell you and answer all the questions and let you know about what's coming up next. Critical Role is, of course, on Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. So I let people know about this last week, but I think it's super valid still today. There's a lot of people watching Critical Role all at once. So we host it here on the D&D channel. If you like the people that you're talking to or hanging out with now, you can watch Critical Role on our channel, and all the stats and everything go back to it, but it's a little bit more of a smaller, more discreet community for you to chat with and hang out with. So if you're already watching Critical Role, come on to our channel and hang out with us. A lot better than watching things going on. And maybe I should jump in on Thursday nights. But it's very hard. I have kids. I don't have time to watch things. So I will not be watching it live. But it is a fun time. So I suggest you hang out with us on Thursday at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Friday, as I mentioned, we've got the Fireside Chat at 11 a.m. with Nathan and Mike Mearls. Tune in for that. There's a lot of fun stuff planned. As well, an hour earlier at 10 a.m., Beamdog we'll be hosting them. Trent Oster and Philip Daigle will be going through all kinds of updates, talking about what's going on with the Neverwinter Nights Enhanced Edition, as well as all their other Enhanced Editions that are going on. So I suggest you go check that out. And then, of course, Dragon Friends at 5 p.m. Pacific time. They're awesome. They're Aussies, and they're awesome Aussies. And last week, oh gosh, I should have gotten a gift for that. Last week, there was live unicycling happening during their performance, and they taunted me on Twitter and said, "What other D&D stream has live unicycling happening?" And there is no other stream. So go check them out if you're interested in finding out what that's all about. Then, of course, Encounter Roleplay, Learn by Play is 3 p.m. Pacific time on Saturday. And tune in to Maze Arcana, Orphan Echo. I don't think it's going to be called Orphan Echo anymore. It's a new thing. They've got, well, maybe I'm spoiling some stuff. But it is their Eberron stream. Very exciting to see Satine Phoenix and Rudenberg on what's going on Sundays at 12 p.m. noon. All right, I'm done here. We're going to switch over to Chris Perkins and get everything all set up for Dice Camera Action. Again, bear with us if there's any technical details, but here, fingers crossed that everything is going to go smoothly. And thanks to Pelham and to Trevor Kidd for making all this happen. So thank you guys. Everybody in the chat, you are awesome. And I will be back next week with some more D&D news. But in the meantime, enjoy Dice Camera Action coming up in just a few minutes. All right, bye.